Okay, let's unpack this immediately. My heart is still racing from reading the source material on this one.
I know.
We're looking at One Piece chapter 1175 today, and honestly, this isn't just a fight scene.
No, not at all.
It feels more like a tragedy. Something almost Shakespearean, but, with skeletons and magic.
That's a great way to put it. Usually when we talk about One Piece fights, it's all about, power scaling, hockey blooms, who hits harder.
Right.
But chapter 1175, this is different. This is what I'd call a confrontation of souls. It's intimate, it's tragic, and it fundamentally changes how we might view the magic system of this world.
Confrontation of souls. I love that. And we're talking about Brook, our favorite musician, the Soul King himself, going up against Ginkgo.
Mm-hmm.
But as the sources make painfully clear, Ginkgo is just a mask. Underneath, it's Princess Shiori. And the context here is just, it's heartbreaking.
It's the ultimate test of loyalty versus manipulation. You have Imu, this figure at the very top of the world, who has essentially turned Shiori into a weaponized puppet.
A weaponized puppet.
Forcing Brook to fight the very person he swore a knightly vow to protect.
That's the hook right there. It's so cruel, so calculated. So our mission for this deep dive is to really figure out how this battle evolves.
Yeah.
Because it starts as a sword fight, but it turns into this metaphysical war over her identity.
Yeah.
We're going to trace how Brook goes from just being her guardian to becoming a literal Soul King.
Which is such a fascinating evolution, and we have to look at the tactics, the psychology, and the magic systems at play. Because, right at the start of the chapter, the physical mismatch is just jarring.
It really is. Okay, let's jump into that first. The state of Ginkgo, or Shiori, really at the start, it's terrifying. She's not fighting like herself anymore, is she?
No, not at all. The analysis we have describes her as a living weapon, completely under Emu's control. And when she attacks, the source material specifically says it doesn't feel like swordsmanship.
What does it feel like?
It lacks the breath, the rhythm of a human fighter. It's described as the mechanical power of a destruction machine.
Mechanical power. Wow, that is such a chilling description. It just implies there's no thought, no hesitation.
Just output, like an automaton.
Clicking.
And that puts Brook in a terrible spot immediately. He tries to defend. We see him use his shield, but the sheer physical difference is overwhelming.
Yeah, the source says he gets knocked right into the rubble, takes heavy damage.
And Brook isn't exactly a tank, right?
He's bones.
Yeah.
But he's taking these hits. What I found really compelling in the notes, though, is the psychological side of this first clash.
It's completely asymmetrical. On one side, you have Ginkgo. She's silent. Her entire mind is described as being locked in darkness.
No banter, no recognition, just cold efficiency.
Exactly. And on the other side, you have Brook, and he is just desperate. He's not just fighting, he's calling out to her.
He keeps screaming, Shiori Haim?
Princess Shiori, yeah. He's trying to use their shared memories as an anchor for her.
But he's basically fighting a ghost in a machine. And he realizes pretty quickly that his whole knightly vow to protect her is actually hurting him if he only thinks physically.
It's a total deadlock. If he fights back with his full strength, he hurts her body. But if he doesn't...
she kills him.
Right. And this leads to that first major tactical shift in the chapter. Brook realizes physical counters are, they're useless. They only damage the vessel. To save her, he has to shift the battlefield.
From the physical to the psychological.
Exactly.
Which brings us to what Brook does best. Music. And this is where things get really interesting.
It really is. In a lot of combat systems, music is just a buff or a distraction. But for Brook, the source material calls it a soul language.
And he chooses a very specific song, New World.
Yes. And that choice isn't random at all. New World is a melody that represents her freedom, her true identity from before Imu got inside her head.
So he's trying to, bypass the brainwashing?
He's attempting what the analysis calls a memory osmosis. He's trying to vibrate her very soul with a song she knows and loves. It's like he's trying to hack into a computer with a melody instead of code.
I love that. And the crazy thing is, looking at the panels, it actually starts to work.
It does. The reaction is immediate. The source details specifically that her attacks, which were flawless and mechanical, they suddenly just freeze. We see mechanical stagnation.
And her eyes, the notes say her lifeless eyes begin to waver.
Yes.
That is such a classic, perfect moment. The robot is waking up.
But for me, the most powerful detail is the anchor. The source says that as the music hits her, she visualizes a specific memory.
What does she see?
A gently smiling skeleton.
Ah, that's Brook.
It is. That image of kindness, it just pierces right through the darkness. And then she actually speaks. She unconsciously whispers his name, Brooke.
That gave me chills reading it. It's working. The armor of the mind is cracking. But
yeah.
This is One Piece. It's never that easy.
Unfortunately not. This is where we see the terrifying extent of Imu's power. Just as she starts to wake up, we get what the source calls the system override.
System override. It sounds so digital, so cold. What happens?
The space around them literally distorts. It's not just in her head. The environment itself reacts to Imu's will. And the physical toll on Shiori is brutal. She starts clutching her head, just screaming in pain.
So Imu isn't just controlling her, he's punishing her for remembering.
That's a great way to put it. The analysis says Imu is tightening the soul chains. He's resetting her, forcing her back into that void state. It's an absolutely brutal counter.
So the music fails. Or, well, it's shut down. And now the fight escalates. And I mean, It gets weird.
It really does. We move from sword fighting to what the source calls inhuman magic.
Right, this is where convention fails. Ginkgo isn't just using a sword anymore. Because of Imu's abnormal magical power, she just manifests new weapons.
A giant gun made of magical energy and a thick grimoire, a magic book.
And the book is really interesting because the pages flip on their own to summon fireballs.
It's like she's suddenly a specialized mage class in an RPG.
Yeah, and this forces Brook to try his signature move, the Naruto Flunk, his lullaby parry, which, is usually an instant win for him.
He just puts people to sleep.
But it doesn't work, and I want to pause here because the why is so important. Why can't he put her to sleep?
This is a crucial piece of lore from the analysis. The reason it fails is because Imu's control forces the victim's soul into a state of constant agitation.
Constant agitation.
Right. Think of it like a computer CPU just running at 100% capacity, overheating, screaming. It means natural rest is impossible. Her soul is vibrating with stress and control commands so intensely that the very concept of sleep is biologically and spiritually overridden.
That is horrifying.
Yeah.
It's like weaponized insomnia. It just highlights the cruelty of Imu's control.
Mm-hmm.
So Brook's go-to crowd control is useless. He's facing fireballs. What does he do?
He adapts. He summons Frizzledom.
And you have to describe this because the visual is stunning.
It's an ice technique, but it's beautiful. He creates these ice cuts that form the shape of a treble clef and frozen piano keys.
Of course he does. He blocks fire with a piano made of ice. That is so on brand for him.
And it's effective. It neutralizes the fireballs completely. It proves he can match the magical output even if his status effects aren't working.
But matching output isn't winning, right?
Right.
He's just surviving. And he realizes that.
He does. He realizes that standard attacks, even his ice, they're just stalling. He's fighting the symptoms, not the disease. To win, he has to tap into his ultimate nature.
The Soul King.
The Soul King.
And this is the turning point. This is where we get to the Soul King's liberation. What actually changes when Brick activates this avatar?
It's a metaphysical shift. His perception of reality changes. He can see the invisible. The source says he can now see the hideous soul threads.
Whoa.
Yeah. Imagine these dark, twisted strings connecting Ginkgo's back to a distant will to Imu. He can literally see the puppet strings.
So he's basically looking at the Matrix now. He sees the code.
Exactly. And this sets up the climax of the chapter, which the analysis refers to as ontological liberation.
Ontological liberation. That's a very fancy way of saying freeing her very being.
It is, and it's like a surgical procedure. The source breaks it down into 4 distinct steps.
Okay, walk us through them. Step 1.
Step 1 is the soul scream, or Tamashi no Sekibi. He screams, but it's a spiritual shockwave. It shakes the spiritual space itself, and that forces those hidden threads to fully reveal themselves.
Okay, so he fleshes them out, like a sonar ping. Step 2.
Targeting. He has to locate the specific dark links attached to her mind. He's not just swinging wildly, he's aiming for the neural and spiritual connectors. It's about precision.
And step 3 is the cut.
The cut. He uses the Tamashi no Makin, the soul solidifying sword, and he executes a new technique called Umatachi.
And the source mentions he does this with rhythm, right?
Yes. Even in spiritual surgery, he's a musician. He cuts the threads to a specific beat, and that's step 4, the severing. By cutting the threads in this very specific way, he erases Imu's presence from her.
He literally cuts the Wi-Fi signal from the big bad guy.
That's actually a very accurate analogy. He severs the remote connection.
So what happens when those threads snap, the immediate aftermath?
The effect is instantaneous. The soullessness vanishes. The light returns to Shiori's eyes.
And we get that reunion. The source describes Shiori just weeping and smiling in Brook's arms.
It's the emotional payoff. But if you connect this to the bigger picture, this victory represents a clash of two huge spiritual powers.
It's not just Brook versus Shiori, it's what they represent.
On one side, you have Emu, and Emu represents oppression and stagnation, the control of every aspect of existence.
And Brook.
Brook represents liberation and resonance. He doesn't force his will on others. He resonates with them to bring out their true selves.
That is so profound, and it makes his final line in the chapter just so much heavier. He says, "Welcome back, Princess Shiori."
It confirms that the Guardian has defeated the ruler. He didn't defeat Shiori, he defeated the control over her. He saved the person by killing the puppet.
You know, thinking about this, Brook has come such a long way. Remember when he was just the funny skeleton who asked to see panties?
I do. But this chapter, it cements him as a true powerhouse. He is a literal soul king, capable of freeing enslaved souls.
It makes you wonder then, if Emu's power is based on this soul control, this system override, then Brook might actually be the most dangerous person in the world to the world government right now.
That's the big question, isn't it? If he can sever the direct soul links of Emus, something that seems to be beyond normal Hakaki or devil fruits, what does that mean for the rest of the world?
Exactly. There are so many people, so many groups under Emu's thumb. If Brook can just cut the strings,
then music might be the ultimate counter to total domination.
Wow. That is a thought to leave you with.
Yeah.
Music as the ultimate weapon of freedom. Not a gun, not a sword, but a song, and a soul that refuses to be quiet.
It's a beautiful message, kind of buried in a really violent chapter.
It really is. Thank you for walking us through that. That was an intense deep dive.
My pleasure. It's a chapter that was well worth analyzing.
Absolutely. And to you listening, thanks for diving deep with us. We'll catch you on the next wave of information. Stay curious.